Byron Donalds, Wesley Hunt.
Oh no, I already know where
They
you're going with this.
they went to a barbershop in Atlanta, Georgia. Rocky's Barbershop.
Mm-hmm.
For this barbershop kind of discussion, I want to remind people that there was a barbershop tour that the Biden Harris administration did like a year ago, a year or two ago. So this isn't
Okay,
anything
yeah.
new. Um, some people were having issues that the barbershop owner even allowed this to happen in
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta. And you know, social media has receipts. In 2017, Rocky from Rocky's Barbershop called John Lewis a living legend in black history and
Mm-hmm.
took a photo with him.
Mm-hmm.
7 years later, Rocky is hosting a campaign event for Trump, the man who has repeatedly attacked the civil rights icon John Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So at the event, I watched some of it. The Rocky, the owner, you know, says he's happy and grateful. There were Byron Donalds, again, who represents Florida, Wesley Hunt, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see any black congressional folks from Georgia there, and there are a lot.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot. Where
Wasn't
was
that
Herschel
Ben
Walker?
Carson?
Oh, Ben Carson was there too, who isn't even an elected official.
But I
Where
told
was
you.
Herschel Walker? Where are you, Herschel?
Herschel retired,
Anyway,
honey. Grand opening, grand closing.
he took them donations and hid it, allegedly.
Mm-hmm.
So then Trump calls in via speakerphone.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't play his voice on these airwaves because he's a loser, so I don't play his voice. But I want to read you what he said. He said, talking about his indictments and being a convicted felon and so on. But since this has happened, like the mugshot is the best. It just beat Elvis Presley, mind you, wrong reference to make for older black folks, Elvis Presley, knowing how his history with black music. Anyway, it just beat Elvis Presley and Frank Sinatra by a lot, by the way. Beat it by a lot. But the number one mugshot of all time, it's really an amazing thing. Since it happened, the support among the black community and the Hispanic community has skyrocketed. It's been amazing, really been amazing. It's actually been very nice to see.
Child.
You know, I struggle with this, Reese, because I saw a little bit of video of the owner talking. I struggle with, and why did you even allow this to happen at your barbershop? But it's your shop, you own it, whatever the case may be. But similar to when Trump was at a black church in Michigan years ago, and the woman got on stage and stopped him from attacking Hillary Clinton. I just feel like
Yeah.
because they're in your territory, this is a moment, just my humble opinion, where maybe you should have said, wait a minute, with all due respect, Mr. President, or at least say it on the record even when he's off the phone. You're in my home, you're in my space. I don't like the idea that you think a mugshot has increased your support among black people. I don't know how they approached him. I don't know how they pitched this to him. I don't know, but I thought it was really disappointing. And listen, you're sitting down with Byron Donalds and Wesley Hunt. Byron Donalds, Jim Crow Jr. I mean, the way that Jim Crow terrorized Georgia,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he was held accountable for those comments. Uh, there's another event they had in Fulton County where he said he does not believe in reparations. And there was a black man in the audience who said, well, then you don't support black people.
Mm.
So I struggle with this, Reese. These are the three people that show up. Ben Carson, who once said Obamacare is worse than slavery.
Yeah.
And I bet you some of the people who support that barbershop in Georgia more than likely have health care because
Mhm.
of Obamacare. But they aren't political pundits, I get it. But to have these folks in your house who I would argue have made disrespectful comments about black communities, a little bit strange to me. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts on this, Reese Colbert?
I get it. I definitely get it. I wouldn't invite him to nothing I'm doing. Obviously, I wouldn't have him if I owned the shop. I wouldn't have him in it. The optics of it is perpetuating a false narrative about the surge of black support. So I think in terms of if you are thinking in terms of community, then you would not have wanted to be associated with something like that. Um, However, I don't begrudge him too much for hosting this event because I don't have a problem with allowing people to come into your space if accountability is there. Like you said, when the woman at the church said, we're not doing that here. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a problem with that because it is a campaign cycle. I think that whether or not you're going to get the black vote or not, you still need to come talk to us. You still need to make your case to us. But I think in terms of just a photo op, it's not good. If you want to have somebody, if you want to open your space up to somebody, at least try to make it an exchange, one where there's accountability for the people that are presenting, there's accountability for the words that are being stated, and making sure that those words are truthful, and they aren't racist, anti-black. So I do think that there is a way to do it that is not like a betrayal of sorts, not, book dancing and all that stuff. I don't think he accomplished that, but I don't innately have a problem with the idea of, okay, you can come to the restaurant, you can talk to the people, and they can hear you out and you can hear them out. And then what happens from that happens from that. I'm not gonna really focus so much on him, the barber. I mean, Reggie, you said Reggie?
Rocky's
Rocky, sorry,
barbershop.
Rocky. I'm not gonna focus so much on Rocky because he's an individual. He can kind of do what he wants. I just don't think that that's helpful, but he doesn't have to be helpful. But own it as well, stand in it and own it and be like, well, they pay me money. Buyer, you pay me money, you can come have an event here too. Like, own that. Or if you really wanted to do something better, then you could have maybe set it up a little bit better. But this was just a photo op. It was a photo op where, once again, Trump has said some racist, stupid ass shit and made headlines. So you didn't even really accomplish what you was trying to accomplish, aside from the optics of having a bunch of black men who, to your point, are either elected or prior elected officials or prior appointed officials. This wasn't like an average Joe Schmo barbershop full of black men. These men are all tied to Trump in some way in terms of their political fortunes. And so they have every incentive to be there. So when you actually looked at it, it's like, this ain't no black men for Trump event. These people are trying to be vice president. And so they all sitting up there trying to make it seem like there's this surge of black support for Trump, and it's not. So I mean, I get it. I get the criticism. I'm not saying Rocky is immune to it, but at the end of the day, I'm not gonna hate on a black man. Hopefully, he got some coin. If he did it for free, then that was stupid as fuck on his part. But if he got a little bit of coin, maybe a couple thousand to shut his barbershop for a couple hours, I ain't too mad at him.
Yeah, I struggle with it. I struggle
Mm-hmm.
because I mean, did you know that he's going to call? I mean, via speakerphone. I don't know. I just think if he's going
That
to
was
be in your
ratchet.
space, he's going to be in your space. He's going to be in your home, and maybe he's not aware of the record. I don't know. And he said he had owned this barbershop since 2008. And he said, I've
Mm.
seen the ups and downs.
Mm-hmm.
So you got this barbershop, you managed
Under
to land this
Obama.
amazing business, yeah, during the Obama administration. So, I just think that it's important for us to have discretion of who comes into our communities. And I know this is different, but another example, when Candace Owens goes to the Breakfast Club and she's
Mm-hmm.
not being held accountable,
Mm-hmm.
they're coming to you. They're coming to you. They're coming in your space. When I
Yeah.
have Democrats on this show who say something wrong, I
Mm-hmm.
hold them accountable.
Right,
I
right.
held Josh Stein accountable, who to me made ridiculous comments about Ronnie Long, who was wrongfully convicted in North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
I will hold
Sure
you
did.
accountable. I get that he doesn't. I get this is a barbershop, but I don't know. I just wonder if we're thinking about community and we're thinking about Atlanta, Georgia, and the people who are there. It just made me wonder: is this was this a good thing to do? And even if you got money out of it, was it worth it? I don't know if he. I don't even know if they can pay them. I'm not really sure, but
I'm
it's
sure
and
they
then
could. Yeah, they paid.
are they able to pay them?
Rentals. Sure they
Rental? Okay,
did.
that could be different. Rental,
Yeah,
rental. And did you know that the agreement would be call in via speakerphone? And do you know the record of the people who are in front of you? I don't know. I do feel like the barbershop is an institution
it
in the
is.
black community, Reese. I
Yeah,
grew up in the barbershop. It is an institution. And
I
so
agree.
I have concerns, but I hear you. I
No,
mean,
but I think that's why I think it's fair to say I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. I think that that's fair game. I don't have a problem with that notion. I have more of a problem when it's strictly a photo op, when it's strictly an ability the potential to just spew propaganda. I have more of a problem with that. Um so I don't know what he thought it was going to be, if he thought it would be more of an exchange, or if he knew it was just strictly going to be like a Trump rally of sorts at the barbershop. But I think that it's good to have these conversations in the barbershop, because the same way that we think, oh, don't have the Republicans come, there are people who might be like, don't have the Democrats come. You know what I'm saying? Democrats aren't always super welcome in the barbershop. There's a lot of anti-democratic sentiment
oh yeah,
in
sure, sure.
barbershops too. So that's why I'm saying I don't know if I'm gonna necessarily go, rag on him over Trump, because there'd be somebody who would rag on him over if he had Biden. I think that really, if you have the ability to have an audience with people, what do you do with that audience? Do you hold them accountable? Do you have an exchange, or do you just let them spew propaganda? This was a propaganda photo op, and I don't think that was helpful. But I'm still not really down on Rocky himself.
Right. No, I get it. I get it. I get it. I just have questions.
Yeah.
And also, this is a man who's a stone cold racist.
Yeah.
This is a man who's attacked black men like the Central Park Five.
Mm-hmm.
This is a man who is waging war on black folks who have any connection to DEI.
Mm-hmm.
This is a
Sure
man
is.
who the Heritage Foundation wants to fire 50,000 or more federal workers, and a lot of black folks are civil servants, they're federal workers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you were so privileged and so blessed to have, because this is a man who does not talk to black media. Trump
Mm-hmm.
will not talk to black media at
Mm-hmm.
all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He will not talk to black media at all. So I mean, I don't know. I struggle with it, but I hear you, and I just wonder what our responsibility is, especially if we're rooted in community, and what did we get out of it? What do you
Right.
get in return?
Yeah.
And then it just shows you the ego of this man, that you are talking to a black barber. No talk about policy, right? No
No.
talk about policy. None of that. And
Mm-hmm.
you bring up your mugshot, and it's done better than Elvis Presley's mugshot. Wow. I just considering the barbershop that I know, I'm surprised nobody said, oh, excuse me?
Yeah, that was weird. That was weird.
How?
So it was a net I think it was a net negative on the whole speak. So it was like, okay, thanks, Rocky. Made the president look like an asshole again, the ex-president, the convict, look like an asshole again. So I mean, I get it. I get it. But that's why I said if you're about community. Everybody ain't for the community like that. Everybody sometimes they
Yeah.
don't
And I
take a
don't know if
check.
Rocky is or isn't. I just
I
have
don't know
questions.
if he is or isn't either.
Yeah.
I don't think it's indicative of somebody who's rooted in the community and trying to do his best for the community. And the way that the event was held, maybe the event wasn't what he expected it to be. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But, I think that photo op is not rooted in helping the community.
But shout out to Rocky's Barbershop for being around since 2008.
That's
That is a
big.
huge accomplishment, being
Yeah.
able to survive COVID and
Mm-hmm.
so on, and the way that Brian Kemp handled COVID. And barbershops were so impacted. That was the other thing I was thinking too, Reese. Barbers were so impacted by COVID.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yep.
can't. There's no mask. I mean, you got to pull off your mask, and for us, it's the beard, it's the lineup. Like it's so
Mm-hmm.
impacted. So shout out for him for surviving the ups and downs of our economy, and for any other people who allow Trump in their space, hold them accountable.
That's it. That's it.
Hold them
That's what you should
accountable,
do with your space. Hold
especially
people accountable.
his
Hmm.
record against black communities.